Surviving Sister Wives contains adult content that may not be suitable for Latter-day Saints or sinners. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Sister Wives.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly. And this is Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 8, A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing.
It's almost like a Depeche Mode song or something, isn't it? No, that's Hungry Like the Wolf.
I can't name
Is that Duran Duran?
One Depeche Mode song.
No? Personal Jesus. That's the one that comes to mind.
Long before my time.
Long before?
Okay,
I don't
not
know.
that long.
Yeah, not too long.
Thanks. I don't think we got a direct quote with this in the episode, did we? Did Kody call anyone a wolf in sheep's clothing?
No.
How did the sacred cow?
Yeah, the cow is... We couldn't put that in the title. That wasn't in the Bible. We couldn't find that verse. The sacred cow.
Well, that's a shame.
That's a real bummer. I feel like we could have found a Bible verse specifically for a sacred cow.
In the Janelle Brown translation?
Probably, yeah. But this
I'm here for it.
Yeah, this is a Bible reference still from Matthew 7:15.
Oh, I didn't know you were still doing your research on these, but let's go.
Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves, like McKelty, who tries to tell you that the season's going to start in August when she's completely wrong. False prophet. Do not be deceived.
So then I guess this is about Kody.
Or is it Kody talking about Janelle? That's the real twist. I feel like in his mind, it would be about Janelle.
Well, yes, he's doing a lot of projection.
Because they're in the standoff of who's going to screw who first, and not in the fun way that he's used to.
F and F.
They're fighting, not effing. But the TLC description for this one is Kody suggests reconciling with Janelle, but she flatly refuses when he continues to prioritize Robin. Christine introduces her boyfriend, David, to more of her children before they head out ring shopping.
Are we going with boyfriend? Should we just call him her fiance already?
They're doing a lot of fiancé things without being fiancés.
Pre-engaged.
Usually, it's a test drive is what Christine's working with here. Usually you don't need to look up wedding venues if you're not planning on getting married.
Are you ready for a rewrite?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Christine preps David to meet Kody by introducing him to Paedon. On his 55th birthday, Kody is visited by 4 ghosts. Janelle does her best Elle Woods impression. Meri finally moves into the Fajita Cantina Americana crafting room and carriage house.
Well, she doesn't move in. It's just the remodel reveal, right? She's not living there, Kody.
Why not? I thought that the loft area was pretty comparable to the bedroom that she has inside the B&B.
In terms of square footage, you mean? Or functional space?
It looked very similar.
Well, we'll talk about it.
Gonna have to remain patient. That's at the end of the episode.
Oh, God, yeah, it's all the way at the end. Well, they made us wait, 9 episodes? 8 episodes.
Plus wherever we left off from it last season.
I think that was in the season finale. That was the cliffhanger for Meri. And then they waited 8 episodes to get around to it. Close that out. Announcements this week. We've got Maddie's podcast, The Authentic Society, kicking off on November 4th.
Well, that will have already happened by the time this episode. No?
For the public feed.
I guess. Well, I guess it depends what... Bleh. Well, I guess it depends what time they drop the episode. I won't know because I won't get a notification on Apple Podcasts.
It's on Spotify and YouTube specifically.
I'm very bitter about that.
I know you are.
Like,
You're still.
Are you Joe Rogan? I don't know why you're Spotify exclusive, essentially. Should I not say his name?
Yeah, well,
he's as controversial.
I feel like her politics align with a lot of Joe Rogan's beliefs. If you want to get into that discussion today, I don't know. Probably not. I don't think so.
No.
We won't open that can of worms.
All right, and we've got a voicemail from our legal wife, Cher.
Hi, Corey and Carly. This is legal wife Cher. No, not that one. I was just doing a re-listen and wondering how much TLC money would it take to get the anthropology students to come back and evaluate how the family is doing now? I'm also, as a huge Kevin Smith fan, I'm dying at the idea that Corey thought that there was a possibility that the Browns may have taken the kids to go see Tusk at the movie theater that episode. Love the show. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Cher, for that wonderful voicemail.
Hold on, you guys thought we were fucking with you when we said Cher, didn't you?
It was actually from Cher. Well, not the Cher, but I think that this share would probably have a last name, even though she didn't share it with us.
Wow, that was probably the corniest joke that you've made on this podcast.
Oh, you've forgotten a lot of my jokes. I think you have ignored a lot of them.
We do need the anthropologist to come back.
How much money would it take, though? I don't think... I think we can do is we could take Robin's share and then just put that towards the anthropologist fund.
Oh,
who else isn't
her
pulling
money,
their weight?
Not share.
Well, not her share. No, that's her Sonny, I think, is what we're trying to... No. So, of the payouts that are flying around for the adults who are involved in this show, maybe we should take Christine's money. And David, is David getting paid for this season, you think?
He's on camera.
He's appearing a lot.
He's going to start getting a paycheck.
He's
getting a paycheck if he's on TV in a reoccurring role. Is it more than McKelty's paycheck, do you think?
I think it depends on how many words he says.
Well, it's hard to decipher them, so I think that's going to be a bad way for him to get paid.
Yeah. Don't charge by the word.
Can we start subtitling him?
They did a few times. There were a couple.
There's so many mumbles.
Yeah, because when I try to impersonate him, it does end up sounding a lot like Dr. Now. So maybe we'll try and sprinkle that in if it hits me.
I don't even care if they're the original anthropologists. I just need some type of licensed professional to be involved in the situation. And not Nancy. We don't want Nancy back.
Yeah, we're not that picky, though. We don't need to have the UNLV campus store raided by anyone before they go on camera, either. It could be anyone from anywhere.
I want Dr. Romani, an expert in narcissists.
Yeah, that would be good.
Dr. Ona. Is that her name?
Orna from Couples Therapy? Ona. Different.
Just left a whole letter out.
Oopsie. Who else? Gabor Mate? Is that how you say his name? Gabor Mate? That dude's pretty good too.
I'm going to trust your judgment on that since I went with Dr. Ona. My instincts are not reliable.
A little off. Yeah, not the same. But Tusk, speaking of mental health professionals, Kevin Smith, top of the heap. Maybe Kevin Smith can just go to the Browns and talk through he's a documentarian too.
Do you know how long that episode would be?
It would be very long, but he has documentary film experience. I think he'd be able to run this very quickly.
Do we just want anyone other than the current production crew?
Yeah, probably. I think that's really what it's getting down to at this point. That was such a fun episode, though, that we did, because that was with the anthropologists where we were speculating on what movie the Browns went to go see, which could or could have not been Tusk, but maybe it was.
Probably not Tusk.
Probably not.
That's a horrifying movie, by the way.
Yeah, it's great, though. It's really good. But that was a really fun episode, and that was a crossover episode that we did, too. We had Kimberly from A Date with Dateline on for that one. So if you're looking for another podcast to listen to here, I know they just started up. There's a whole new season of Dateline that's been kicking off as well. So highly recommend. Great content over there.
And if you're interested in listening to more content from us, you can do that by visiting patreon.com/survivingpod and sign up for the virtual cul-de-sac.
We've also got all of our episodes early and ad-free, including the content from our Surviving Reality podcast, where we're recapping Real Housewives of Salt Lake City every Friday. And we've got our merch store over at Etsy, Surviving Pod Shop, if you're looking to find that in there. There's also the link in the description for the episode in our Beacons link. We're doing a holiday drop later this month, too, so stay tuned for that. If you're a legal wife on the Patreon, you can go vote on some of the merch that's going to be included as part of that drop as well.
Shall we get this pony swimming?
Got to get it in the water.
All right. Well, we start the episode out with David coming over to Christine's house, which at this point must be a daily thing that's happening. Do you think he left early in the morning before the rest of the kids showed up?
He just ran out to the store to go get some stuff, and then he's just going to circle back.
Did the walk of shame.
Circling the block here a little bit. Well, at first I thought, what, is he snowboarding? Is he parasailing? What's he doing? What was all of this active outdoor footage? It was like a Real Housewives of Salt Lake City intro.
I thought that Kody had gone skiing again.
I thought he was going to be texting Gabe. We were going to see the text message exchange from the last time he was out on the mountain.
Do they hear us criticizing the donkey footage?
So this is the thing. That's not a criticism.
We enjoy it.
I genuinely love the donkey footage. But that's a Vegas B-roll shot. So that's why we can't just drop that in anywhere. We're not in Vegas anymore.
I don't care. Just give us donkeys.
I think you could find some donkeys in Flagstaff.
We have Robin. She's one.
Has Robin been promoted from donkey to cash cow?
Sacred cow.
Sacred cow, sorry. Yeah, she's more of a debit swipe, a debit credit. She runs them up.
I guess this isn't that surprising that Christine has already committed to spending the rest of her life with Dino Dave, and yet 2 of her children have not met him.
Paedon and Gwen.
And that's unfortunate because they're the 2 who can't be in the same room together.
That just makes it extra complicated. That just means there's going to be more meetups that have to happen. It's just delaying the inevitable timeline here that we have for Dave and Christine.
That's true. Not fast enough for them.
Yeah, it's moving too slow. So what's not moving too slow is their physical attraction, because right as he shows up at the door, Christine's all over him. She's jumping that bone, those dino bones.
I'm really over it. I don't want to watch them make out anymore. I get it. You're happy. You're enjoying one another. This is something that you didn't get to do in 30 years of your marriage. It's getting repetitive. That's what it is.
I feel like the main complaint that people have had where they jump to the defense of Christine, take it as when we are criticizing what's happening between Christine and David's relationship, they're seeing it as us poo-pooing the sexuality of I almost said later aged woman, but I don't know. Where do we want to call it? This would technically be
a lady of a certain age.
A lady of a certain age, particular age group, because Kody thinks that 50 is middle age, which I have some news for him on that front.
He's only halfway through his life.
Not good. Yeah. And with my high level of income and advancements in medical science, there's no reason I can't expect to live to be 250, 300. So he has a very Ricky Bobby approach to lifespans.
It was giving Talladega Nights.
So much so. Okay, so people think of it as when we're talking about this is a little much, maybe tone it down, we're diminishing a lady of a certain age's sexuality in general and how she expresses that. That's not what we're going for here, though.
Well, I want to preface that this is all our own theory.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't do a poll or anything, but this seems to be the response or why people get defensive when there's criticism that's happening in this way. But I think the main driver for that is that what we're trying to say is that you can do that. You can express yourself sexually and have a healthy, fulfilling relationship with your partner at that age, while also simultaneously being respectful of your children and adult children. I feel like those are 2 things where people are just saying, oh, she knows what she wants. She is going to get that. And too bad for the kids. Oh, well, get over it. That's the part where I think it's the steamrolling, it's the ignoring, it's the override that happens. That's where I have the issue.
I agree with what you said to a certain extent. I just think she's not doing something inherently wrong by expressing affection in front of her children. It's the fact that you're not meeting your children where they're at, and that they also have internalized trauma from growing up in the situation that you birthed them into. And they're trying to catch up to the same point that you're at and be comfortable with it, but they're just not yet. So why can't you just hold back a little bit and ease them into feeling comfortable with it?
Well, also, there are several of the kids who are saying, it's great. I'm happy for mom, happy for David, happy that they're happy, but also it's moving really fast.
And their faces are doing the Ramses from Love is Blind thing, where they're being very agreeable, but their face is telling a different story.
Well, yeah, because I think there's
a story of great discomfort.
There are a few times where it comes up and then Isabel doesn't say anything. Because it's basically just whoever wants to speak up to encourage this more, great, and that will be accepted and rewarded. But if you have an oppositional position to take, then please keep that to yourself.
And we're not going to take it into consideration, which gets repeated in this episode, and I did not love it because Christine has said it to the children, and now David says it to them, which I got to tell you, I liked even less. You're too new here. To be telling us how things are or are not going to go.
And I mean, I'm okay with telling Paedon something that he needs to hear. That's fine.
We need to do more of that.
There's more of that we could probably do. But I just think from the stance of where it was, it was too much.
We had to talk about the food.
What are they making? Birds' nests? What is this?
It involved chow mein noodles.
I thought she said ramen.
A can of pineapple.
Oh, no. She said that the pineapple was something a weird thing that some people do. And I think she meant Kody, because that sounds like a sweet and savory sort of crepe situation.
Well, let me tell you, I saw a can of chunked pineapple out on that counter. Is that the right way to say that? Chunked?
Chunked? I hope nobody's chunking this pineapple.
You know, not the sliced pineapple like you use for ham.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm going to Google it.
I'm just glad
Is
that...
it chunked pineapple? will anything come up? I'm fucking right.
Okay.
Pineapple chunks.
There you go. Chunks of pineapple.
That sounds really disgusting, actually, the more you think about it.
Canned is actually sweeter. Canned and frozen. It's the enzyme that goes away. So then that way the pineapple doesn't try to digest you. You don't get that tingly feeling in your mouth.
I feel like I can feel it just thinking about pineapple.
Yeah, it's a little bit sweeter. It's good. That's the way to do it. Canned or frozen. No fresh.
Is Christine eating some pineapple? A heavy dose of pineapple on her bowl? Not picking up what I'm putting down. Some people out there are getting it.
JonBenet Ramsey? Pineapples and milk?
Look, ladies of a certain age on reality television have done this before to make things more enjoyable for their partners.
Oh, okay. She's trying
there. Thank you.
She's trying to slip some to David too to change the flavor profile here of what's going on.
Just saying, she was really not into the pineapple, and yet she did make sure that it was out on the countertop.
It's available
to be served.
Yeah,
for whomever might want to consume some.
Just don't let Burke take a swing at you afterwards.
Truly, just fucking disappeared. She was here and she was gone.
She was on the couch. She was not doing well.
Oh,
we were losing her.
We've seen her not doing well on the couch before, Corey.
Well, not like that. She wasn't wrapped in a blanket. There was no imminent hospital visit that was happening. This was just more of a mental thing.
Well, Tony and Paedon and McKelty in the same room.
I would have.
I don't blame her for
I
leaving.
would have a full-blown mentee B. No stopping it.
Within 2 minutes of walking through the door, the conversation very quickly turns to David and Christine's wedding, which they all know is going to happen. So they're asking, how did the venue shopping go?
Well, I really like the Red Rocks.
They already got a date, which, by the way, wasn't that later than they actually got married?
You have to set the date in October because it gets very busy in October. And I don't know if you guys knew this. Moab is basically the wedding capital of Arizona, and it books up.
It's in Utah, babe.
Shit, sorry. Well, yeah, basically, that's what happens. It's all the dinosaur bones.
I'm getting really bad flashbacks as they're talking about the wedding, because could this not be any more like McKelty and Tony's wedding?
It is, like word for word in a lot of the exchanges. And I think Tony is obviously doing that. It's callback humor. It's working. He's doing it right because he's telling them.
Sometimes he tells a good joke.
Yeah, because then they're talking about October and he's like, I think we should wait till December. I think December would probably be better. I could see you as a December bride because October, that's just going to be, it's so soon after Gwen's wedding.
You should probably wait a little longer than that.
We're going to be hot off the heels off of that. It's going to break me if you do that.
Also, 700 people.
That's a lot of people.
You're talking a lot of tacos.
Couple thousand, just for starters.
Whenever we talk about these kids and people, criticize them, I just want to remind you, it's just the worst aspects of their parents' personalities that they have taken on.
It's a mirror that's held up, and then those are the things that they cannot stand. In both directions, I think. As usual, Kody's assessments are way off on the entire situation. I don't know why we needed to hear Kody's take on this about how Christine left him to find her soulmate. And then later on, in a completely different segment, he brings up the exact same thing, says it almost word for word, identical. It wasn't even a sepia tone flashback. It was just a different take. I think they forgot that they left that in. It was like, whoops, that was in 2 different spots. Oh, well.
Whoever edits this never watches it all the way through.
No, not in its entirety. They just went back and trimmed around some other segments. They knew they wanted to include that clip. They just forgot that they already did a different take.
Do they have interns editing different pieces of the episode? And then they just put it all together at the end.
Yeah, you take segment 1, you take segment 2, you take segment 3, and nobody watch anybody else's segments.
And also, we're not watching through one last time for continuity.
No, that's the producer's job. They just sign it off and then send it along here. But I think Kody's missing the point where, remember when it was Christine's leaving his ass, right?
She's leaving my ass. No, wrong inflection.
Oh,
she's leaving my ass.
My ass. So Christine, I don't think she left to find her soulmate. She left to drop the dead weight of Kody Brown from this relationship.
He does not get still that she left because you made her miserable and she dreamed of a life without you.
Anything's better than what she had. And so that's what she was going for. It seems like Kody's really bummed out at the prospect here that he and Christine will never be friends, though. That's really hard for him.
Well, he's making friends left and right. Now he's friends with Meri.
And that's going to become...
He's seen how good that can be.
Yeah, that's going to be the comparison point now for all of his ex-wives.
I do kind of feel like this is destiny, though, Christine and David, because we see their outdoor family photo.
Oh, that David...
was provided by David.
Yeah, David has... It looks like maybe it was on the same day, even. It was like... when the Coen brothers were filming No Country for Old Men, and then in the same county, they were filming There Will Be Blood. This was back in 2007, 2006, okay. 2007.
I got to tell you, I don't think I'd be able to decipher which movie was which if you showed me a clip.
Well, what's funny is it seems like those names, those titles should probably flip. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Do you think we'll see this photo as frequently as we've seen the picture of Kody and the wives, like the last one that they've ever taken?
They had to blur a couple faces.
In David's photo?
In David's photo. Yeah, there's some people who didn't sign releases.
Well, that one and then the one of the Browns all in the purple and yellow. I think we're going to need to start counting how many times we've seen them this season. Because that one...
The purple and yellow? That's going way back, though.
Yeah, but that one, it's at least the third time we've seen it.
It's true. Yeah, I think that they heard the complaints because they probably just had those same photos again in front of the mountain. And then they were like, uh-oh.
Can we just start AI generating new ones?
That would be great, right? Yeah, just... It's hard to...
Can you imagine?
It's hard to do that, though. Yeah, so I think you're going to have to... Unless you're going to make your own generator for it. It's a whole bunch of work.
No, we'll just accept whatever comes out.
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to replicate a celebrity face in an AI
quote
generator.
Quote celebrity.
I didn't say it was an A-list celebrity. And that just makes it harder. Speaking of A-list celebrities, we have Janelle, who's going to be introduced to David next week, but they better hurry up because I think they're probably going to be engaged before Janelle even meets this dude. She's heard a lot about him, but I don't think she's going to be able to keep up with this relationship.
It's kind of weird that they haven't met yet.
Since Christine made that such a big deal about how Janelle is her sister wife, even though I guess if her kids' opinions don't matter, Janelle's opinion probably wouldn't matter either.
She gave that whole speech about how they're a package deal.
It sounds good in a sound clip, but is that what's actually happening? I wonder if Janelle told her, hey, slow your roll, you're moving too quick. If that was going to be...
She's already promised Janelle to a lifetime with David.
I don't know if that's what Janelle is ready to be signed up for at this point. We're going to have to see.
The only other shocking piece of information we learn here is that October is not soon enough for these two to create a tie for eternity. So they're going to go ahead and get matching tattoos.
All right, maybe we could do like a couple. Maybe you can work on a whole sleeve before you guys get married. Whatever will slow this down a little bit. We need to buy as much time as we possibly can.
Where is Dave's tattoo? Because Christine's over her titty.
Yeah, it's the titty one. Titty tat.
I think it's like directly in the middle of his bicep.
Oh, just a
Or do you think it's
issue.
on the forearm? Who was attracted to the forearm? Which one of the wives? Was that Janelle?
That might have been Janelle.
See, you can't get it there.
Yeah, that's going to make her jealous.
Turn her on.
Don't do that.
He doesn't have a ponytail, though.
Thank God. That would have been dangerous. A dangerous combination for Janelle.
At least we have something to deter her.
I feel like Dino Dave would be taking a tattoo right on the cheek. And I'm not talking about upstairs.
You think he has an ass tat?
I don't think he's got an ass
I don't
tat.
believe that.
Right on the cheek.
He's already got a dinosaur one there.
Dino Nuggies or?
He's already got a velociraptor. Do you just want to go ring shopping?
Right now?
That's exactly how that conversation went. What is this? It's like the scene in Sweet Home Alabama where Reese Witherspoon is getting proposed to, and he just takes her to the jeweler.
Oh, and then she gets to pick out.
Just pick the ring out right here and now because we're getting engaged.
It's happening. I'm not asking. I'm telling you, pick out a ring.
Now, I don't hate the idea of picking your own ring out, especially since she obviously knows she's getting married because she's already booked a venue.
Well,
so why do we need the surprise?
Also, how would David know what she wants? They've only been dating for 6 weeks.
That is true.
I don't think that he would have any idea how to come up with this.
I got to tell you, I would have never guessed this combination.
Well, I like how this conversation started too, where it was, hey, let's go jewelry shopping.
She knew what that meant.
And it was...
We're getting engaged.
Oh, I thought you meant she knew what that meant. They were going to go look at my sister wife's closet warehouse full of leftover sterling silver.
Nobody's buying that.
No. We're going to go ring shopping specifically. Okay. So Christine's looking for a marquee diamond.
My least liked diamond. I would put it at the bottom of the pile.
Meri's too. Meri does not
Meri
like a
and I are
marquee.
on the same page, except for I knew that Meri was going to be a square cut gal because we know she doesn't like circles.
Yeah, she can't do them.
I can't believe that applied to diamonds
Of
as
course.
well.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Marquee diamond, anything's a step up from the Claddagh ring.
That is true.
That's the comparison point that Christine has here. So she's trading up any way you look at it.
The mixed metal idea, I guess I think it's cute that their rings kind of match.
Yeah, because David's going for a black ring. It's something a little bit different. He had a gold band for his first marriage, and so he's going with something just a little bit different. Christine is going to then take an element of that in her ring design. I cannot comprehend what is happening with this ring design. When they're showing me the CAD of it, that 3D modeling, why are there sharp edges?
Let's see, there's a lot of points on this ring.
Yeah, there's just going to be finger cheese that gets all built up in between all those hard angles. Just all the lotion and lube that is going to pass through that.
Also, just the marquee diamond seems like a very delicate shape. I don't think it would withstand me smashing it into the side of the washing machine every time I pull clothes out.
Yeah, and then, just if that's going to be the rounded, curvy diamond that you have there, and then there's all these harsh, jagged edges of the ring.
No, the marquee diamond has the 2 points.
Oh, okay.
I think they were trying to mimic that in the design of the ring.
Because everything's got to be right on the nose there. It's the Mariah Plath School of Imagery that's happening here.
Why didn't we have Robin design the ring? Come on, producers. This is the type of stuff we need you to come forward with next season.
A whole scene where Christine is going to Robin and saying, I would love for you to design my wedding ring. It's like Meredith Banks in The Parent Trap going to...
Was her name Banks?
Was it?
I don't know. Anyway, Meredith in The Parent Trap.
Meredith from The Parent Trap. When she went to Elizabeth to make the dress for her wedding. We needed a Parent Trap wedding dress scene, but for the ring design, specifically Christine and Robin working on that. That would have put it over the top. Here's the problem. Robin wouldn't be able to make that design. She'd have to go to Dayton. She'd have to go to Aurora. She'd have to go to Brianna.
She did outsource all of the designing.
She outsourced a lot of that. Yeah, it was just whatever they would scribble together.
And you'd only get hearts. 2 hearts entwined.
2 hearts butt to butt style. Or, as Dino Dave would call it, tat to tat.
He was mumbling something at the end that I couldn't quite make out about laying on the floor together the other night.
Yeah, remember that time on the floor when... See, it's going doctor now.
It is.
It is.
You're going to hone in on it.
Well, Christine, remember the time when I found a Snicker wrapper in your bed?
We don't know Dave that well yet. Once we do, you'll be able to nail it.
So,
very new for us as well.
I'm at the point where if I hear him on the episode, I can echo it pretty good, but I can't just pull it out of nothing yet. So I'm dialing it in. It's a work in progress.
But do you
it'll just
agree,
be-
though, that what they were on the floor for?
It's just going to be a Dr. Now voice until then. So this will be the interim voice. But
what were they on the floor for?
it was, I think maybe they were doing some family floor time.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, it was Christine and David floor time.
Oh, it's a different F and floor time. Different F. No, I think family floor time is a very important time. I don't know if anyone out there is enjoying or partakes of the family floor time as well. Maybe that's just
I feel like we're
us.
going to have to explain that. That's for the neurotypicals out there.
I didn't know that this was a neurodivergent thing. I didn't.
We spent a lot of time sitting on the floor.
It's especially after particularly stressful phone calls related to work or anything that you get overwhelmed, overstimulated, and you just got to lay down on the floor for a minute. Some quiet time down on the floor, laying down. That's it.
Wasted money on furniture. I got to tell you, all the Christine and David stuff went so much quicker this episode.
For you?
For me.
Okay, that's good.
You felt like it did not take as long as venue shopping.
Venue shopping was more painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I think for that that was something where it was very clearly obvious of what they chose. So that was just a complete waste of time. The ring. I don't even remember. I didn't even clock it. To be completely honest, didn't even recall. It was kind of like new information for me.
Well, it is January, and that means it is Kody's birthday.
His 55th birthday. A landmark birthday for him. 5 years past the halfway point for him.
This is just so depressing. He's been reflecting on, like you said, it's not a milestone birthday, but his 50th was, and he spent a lot of time thinking about his life at that point. And now he's realizing that just a short 5 years later, he has completely lost his direction in this world.
But thank God for Robin, because at least he has some sort of semblance of being a good father, being a good husband. He still has that to hang on to and cling to at Robin's house. The last bastion that he has available to him. This is just really hard because this was him struggling so much. This was what, January 2023?
I guess.
Yes.
I'm getting all confused now.
Right. He was talking about his dream of having his 6 oldest kids living across the street from him with their spouses. And he got very emotional and kind of broke down a little bit here.
I got teary-eyed when he did that.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
I did too. I was like, what is happening to me? Why am I feeling emotion watching Kody Brown talk about his kids?
I think because that was an honest, emotional reaction that he had. I would point out that there seemed to be a continuity issue, though.
This happened a few times in this episode specifically, where someone is doing a talking head and either mid-sentence or partway through them expressing a thought, you can tell that they were filmed at 2 different points in time.
We get it. It's a reality TV show. They film different things from different times, and then they splice them together.
Cody's hair is very different, though.
It's noticeably
pretty obvious.
different. His shirt is the same. The set is the same. So everything else is the same, but his hair is definitely different. So this is coming from 2 different points of time. And you can tell the temperament is very different too, because when his hair's a little bit shorter, he's actually kind of speaking from an emotional place. It seems a little bit more resentful or thoughtful.
He looks sad. There's sadness behind his eyes.
Yes.
And in his face. Whereas in the scenes where his hair is floofier in the back,
It's longer.
and there's a little more volume to it that day.
The curls are a little bit running wild up top.
He's still just angry, and he has a scowl on his face.
So it seems like there might have been tweaks that had happened here.
Well, they're cutting together 2 different thoughts
Right.
within this scene. It just feels like the reaction to thinking back on this grand dream of having the kids live so close by with their spouses and almost like recreating the ranch that Wynn had, because that's the dynamic that was up in Wyoming, that he got emotional and that it could have been from after Garrison passed.
Very much. Yeah. Easily could have been.
But it did make me sad for him, because that's not a bad dream. That doesn't make you, like, there's nothing bad about wanting to have your children around you. But the fact that he just cannot see how his behavior has alienated his children and that they don't want to be around him, because of things he's done and said to them.
And I will say, from the show perspective, that's the situation that you're in, to put these thoughts together, to frame this and have the message be, this is what Kody's talking about. This is what he wants. This is what he's hoping for to make that happen. I think what we need to be mindful of here is when people are trying to take that as, oh, they're deceiving us. I don't think it's a deception thing. And this just calls out even more so to the folks who were skeptical about the Robin and Kody argument in the driveway from a few episodes ago. This crew is not great at recreating things. This is something where you have the same exact man with the same exact shirt in the same exact set, an uninterrupted set, a sterile set that you have always placed there for filming purposes, and you couldn't get that to match. So for people to say, oh, they went back, they had him wear his hat, they placed the snow behind him exactly the same way in the driveway, please let that go. Please put that to bed.
I do want to talk more, though, about the whole dream of his kids being nearby as they grow.
Is that a Robin dream, though, that Kody has taken on? Because this doesn't seem like this was ever expressed or stated to any of his older children ever.
He did kind of talk about it when they first moved to Flagstaff, because he was trying to convince the kids to come live there as well.
Specifically, Maddie and Caleb with Axel, baby Axel at the time.
Yes, and when they moved down there, he had to have McKelty and Tony and Aspen and Mitch come down and see it, because he thought that they would just fall in love with Flagstaff and that they would move there as well.
And Leon and Audrey, even though they were going to grad school in Chicago, he wanted to coax them back as well, too.
He had all of them come down to take a look at it. I wonder if this is another betrayal in his mind, that he didn't feel like he had to explicitly tell the kids that this was something that he wanted them to do. He just thought that their love for him would make them want to come back and live their lives nearby. And then when they didn't, it was a betrayal of him, because he's talking again in the episode about being like worshipped by the kids.
For the first 25 years of their life, and then everybody just snapped out of it.
Well, you grow up and you see who your parents are and that they're imperfect people.
And your frontal lobe fully develops and you're able to make those decisions on your own. Robin's assessment of this whole situation, though, Kody's just lost. He's in an angry, angry space because he's a man, and anger is the only emotion he's allowed to have.
Did she say that?
No, not explicitly,
okay.
but
did she defend it as that?
Oh, he's in an angry place.
Just that he's in an angry place.
And lost.
We're clear on that. You know what I'm done with? I don't need to hear any more about Kody being angry, Robin getting blamed for no reason.
There's reasons. Yeah, there are plenty of reasons to blame Robin.
And Christine and David moving too fast. Those are all things I'm very clear by episode 8 now. Thank God that he had this time to reflect on the last 54 years of his life, because now he's got a new outlook for moving forward. And his goal is to get back to being a dad.
A loving father, and he's making a commitment to God that he's going to get back on track with this whole dad thing.
Isn't that sad? Not get back to being an involved dad, get back to being a good dad, get back to being a dad, because I have been so separated from my children's lives that I don't even know what's going on with them anymore.
But that all kind of falls by the wayside because he has more pressing, urgent matter that is looming in his concern here, where he's going to have to meet up with Janelle and talk about the property, and that's scary.
I don't think he's going there to talk about the property.
He doesn't want to.
Janelle is.
She wants to talk about the property. That is not what Kody wants to talk about.
No. And our girl has the hoops in, so you know that she is showing up today.
They're going to sneak into Josephine's. They got lunch in the attic, up in the annex there, where nobody can hear you scream.
He is so excited to be sitting down to eat with her.
He's got his moving gloves. Did he come straight from Meri's house? Was this the same day? Maybe. I don't know.
The moving gloves are just his permanent gloves now.
I didn't like when he just barged in on the room and tells Janelle about how intimate this is. And you can tell on her face, she's like, please don't refer to it that way.
Also, they film every time that they eat in this restaurant up in this attic.
Very confused. Yeah, we've had so many meals here, and most of it has been the sister wives that have met here.
Intimate sister wives lunch dates in this attic.
Going weird.
I think that he was convinced that they were going to reconcile.
I think he's used to that happening. And so normally he's able to, after a certain amount of time,
just
Janelle,
move on.
Yeah, Janelle comes around and then we just gloss over it and then we're just going to continue on. He will hit all those buttons of guilting her into just, oh, get over it sort of a deal. But Janelle's not taking it this time.
Oh, no, he's not in luck today. She's more likely to serve him with papers.
Yeah, she's getting close. There's legal action impending based on this conversation because she's here to talk about paying off the land. Payment is due in June. It's almost February at this point. So she's worried. We got these balloon payments that if we don't pay them off, we lose the whole land because this is a terrible contract. We all signed it. We're all dummies. We make terrible business decisions.
I love that there was so much speculation over the houses in Vegas and that they had balloon mortgages on those and that that's what drove them having to leave when they did. And these people moved to Flagstaff and got balloon. I guess it's not a mortgage, is it?
Well,
it's a loan on the land.
They had the seller mortgage it. So then basically they didn't buy the land. The seller
finance
is financing it.
Just unbelievable that people have talked about their finances for so long and that when they made this decision to move to Flagstaff, they signed a stupid contract. This is obviously a really big problem.
Well, Janelle's not looking to get involved in this. She doesn't want to drag this out any longer than she has to. So she's making the pitch right out the gate to Kody. Why don't you buy me out?
What? What do you mean? Aren't we? You're just going to cut to the chase like that?
Kody got so confused. But you skipped to the end. Usually there's so much other conversation that happens.
No, he's used to his bullshit that when he shows up and he's trying to sell you something, he front loads it with a bunch of other shit before he gets to what he actually wanted to talk to you about and closes. And so he can't believe that she came out with what she actually wanted first.
I want to be wined and dined and 69'd. But no, I think the other reason why he was thrown off was because she jumped in the script. These are not the lines that he ran with Robin earlier today.
It's not how he practiced the conversation would go.
She's off script again.
What about us? Let's talk about us.
What about us?
Like us. There is no us, sir. At this point, she does need to be...
Wait, Janelle, do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say,
that's enough.
I really don't think you're strong enough. No.
How many times has she had to break up with him?
1,000, at least, at this point.
He's worse than Meri.
Well, this is scary.
Meri never actually got a breakup conversation. So I understand why she didn't really read between the lines when she didn't want to. Janelle has made it very clear that she does not want a relationship with him. Although, is this a diversion tactic to her point?
To be fair, Kody thought he was being direct with Meri. He thought that she understood that he did not want to be in a relationship with her and had no interest in pursuing that anymore. He thought he had made that clear, and Meri just hung around. So now he's doing the Meri to Janelle. But now he's also aspiring to have him and Janelle have a relationship like he and Meri have right now?
I thought that was so manipulative when he mentioned that he's friends with Meri now, because this is what went through my mind. Why would he bring that up? Probably because the only other person who has a vested interest in getting their money for this property is Meri Caroline Brown.
And it's more diversions to avoid the real talk. Yeah,
that helps.
I don't want to talk about the property. Let's talk about our relationship and the complexities.
I just think that he said that because he wanted her to realize, if you're going to look for an ally in this fight against me, we've already teamed up against you.
Okay.
So don't go down that route.
She's making a note for later, though. I'm going to have to
She's going to have to go circle back with Meri and find out if he's telling the truth or not.
Well, don't circle back. She's not going to like that. So you're going to have to square back with Meri, I think. Because otherwise, she won't entertain that conversation at all if there's circles.
She just breezed right past him saying that, too.
Yeah, she's
no
like,
additional questions.
All right, I'm going to have to go call a couple people and see if I can find an old phone in the closet somewhere stashed in storage that has Meri's phone number. And then I'm going to get a hold of her and see how things are going.
And she's going to have to make that she's going to have to make an agenda because they're going to have to talk about the property and who she went to get that release.
Yeah, the release. That's interesting to have that too.
Yeah, that's starting to look like something that maybe we want to explore, especially after this combo.
Yeah, because Kody's got some filthy reads on Janelle. Neither of them want to take responsibility, accountability for the end of this relationship. No, I think Janelle's making it pretty clear that she does not want a relationship with Kody anymore. So I don't know why he's having such a hard time dealing with this. He can't let it go.
I think he's really embarrassed.
It's the ego. That was what Janelle was saying, was if this is a polygamous man in their culture, all of his other wives have left except for one, his favored wife. That doesn't look good for him.
Because he also changed his tune later when he was talking in his confessional about now all of a sudden he's only trying to reconcile with Janelle to repair his relationship with his children.
That was interesting too. It's amazing that he thinks that, oh, if I fix this, if I get on speaking terms with Janelle, even though I haven't been at her house in the last 2 years, if I'm able to kind of repair that, then that'll fix all of my relationships with my kids. He puts so much emphasis on that as the source of all of his problems with his children, where I think he's going to realize, even if he fixed things with Janelle in this instance, because I think the real crime here, too, is where Janelle was telling him, I still think you're amazing.
Stop lying to him, hon.
No, you're not. You're not.
I think she really does think the world of him.
I think she does.
Which I will never understand. Maybe it's BC, Kody, before COVID. There's BC, so before COVID, Kody. And then there's AD, after divorce.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Those are the
Cody
that's where we're
timelines.
Splitting the Kody timelines and personalities.
Right.
And I think that she really has a lot of admiration still for the person that she knew years and years ago.
Because that at one point, that's how she sums it up, to have that hit home for him too. I think in order for this to work, we would both need to be different people. That is one way to say that.
You've told me that you need me to be Robin, and I'm not Robin.
I'm not. I don't know how else to explain it to you.
And you're not normal Kody.
No, because even Robin's complaining about that. I wish he would just be the man who I met when I was first courting to join this family. He's changed so much. When she was talking about how angry he is with all of his birthday revelations that he had this year, she's even noticed it too. But Janelle starts digging up specific examples of some behavioral type things, maybe some
blind spots,
some character type things that Kody might have missed here.
Well, she's calling him out on the fact that he wants to talk about their relationship, but they can't do that and move forward if he's going to not allow her to express how she feels about his relationship with Robin.
Because it always comes back to that, where the comparison point, the basis of Janelle's decision is that I am not being treated the same way that you are treating Robin. That was the same complaint that Christine had. That was kind of a similar complaint that Meri had, except hers was just, I need to be treated like a human being who exists in your life. I think that was her baseline.
I gotta say, she's really down, way down in the basement compared to everyone else.
Yeah, because everybody else had these standards where they were at, where they wanted their relationship to be, and Meri was like, could you please just validate my existence in some way, shape, or form?
This is just bringing us back to the same old conversation about Robin destroying the family. And she's tired of hearing it. She doesn't control Kody.
No, but she's a rat. Robin the rat.
She is.
She's having conversations with Janelle, and then she's taking that to Kody and complaining to him about it. And then he's blowing up and yelling at Janelle. You're going to have an argument about something that Janelle said to Robin on Janelle's birthday trip that you take her on?
At first, I thought he was talking about the Sedona trip that they went on recently. And then she elaborated more. And this goes back to when they were buying the She-Ra Chateau.
And that was where Janelle was begging Robin, please do not sink all of our family assets into buying a house because we're going to have all of this money tied up in this property.
And Robin's version of the story was that she said, I most definitely agree with that, Janelle. As you know, I am very against buying a house. I'm praying for a rental.
I am great at business. I have added the pluses and subtracted the minuses.
And she took that back to Kody and said, Janelle and I are on the same page.
Kody doesn't like that when wives agree. because that means that he's wrong.
I find it really fascinating that whenever there's a story like this from one of the other wives, Robin has an explanation that explains it all away. And yet I also kind of feel like this is plausible.
I feel like it was a different sort of thing. Like the way that Kody brought it up to Janelle and the way that she assessed it and clocked it and said, that's interesting that you would say that because I only had that conversation with one other person and that person was Robin. So
it's like living in the traders.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you have to set the trap. And did Robin get the immunity? Did she get the shield on the challenge? Who got it? It was the Bergie block. That's what happened.
I could see it going both ways. I could see Robin going back and complaining to Kody about it and how she's being made to feel bad about spending the family money to buy a house when they're in this situation where she couldn't find a rental. Or I could see it happening before they ever found the house in her trying to back up why she wanted to find a rental and not buy something.
So then why is Kody calling Janelle out for playing a victim card in this instance?
Because he projects everything. And he and Robin are victims in every situation.
Don't make me a victim, sweetie.
Did rewatch that the other day.
I don't understand. Yeah, the assessment, again, another piping hot take from Kody that is just way off the mark this episode. He was wrong about what's going on with Christine. He's wrong about what's going on with Janelle. Way off.
I was tickled pink by the fact that Janelle not only called Robin his sacred cow in her confessional footage, but that she also said it in the conversation with Kody.
She's more like a sacred donkey. That's where you got it wrong, Janelle.
We did miss out on Robin reacting to that, though.
Yeah, I wish we would have had that playback. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get it at the 18-part one-on-one.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Where it's just going to be Christine and David making out for 4 hours. Slurping and slopping on that couch. I hope you brought the rubber sheets.
I was going to say they forgot they were filming, but they knew.
You gotta, yeah. We're going to take a break for a little bit, but they left the cameras rolling.
They're just making no progress in this entire conversation. We're right back where we started. Janelle can't talk to Kody about how she feels about the situation. So how am I supposed to be in a marriage with you?
And then there's still this weird obligation because then that brings up the whole release thing because Janelle is still feeling that attachment spiritually and that devotion from their religion, from that aspect where she still feels married, but then there is no marriage that's happening here. So she's in kind of a weird spot when it comes to any of that turmoil that she has to deal with, which maybe she's going to go talk to Meri, maybe check in about the release, see how complicated that process was. If you already have the paperwork filled out, I'll just plug my name in on it, see what's going on over there. But then it comes down to the real question, land or money?
Money, please.
Money, please. I would prefer money because that would help so much.
She's given up on her entire dream of building on this property. She's just going to move to live near Maddie.
Well, because why? Why would Janelle build on this? And then, because Kody even realizes at one point, yeah, I guess that would be kind of prohibitive for Kody and Robin to build on Coyote Pass if his ex-wife, Janelle, already has a house on the heel.
Robin has already said she's cool with it.
Yeah, that's great because she thinks that they're going to be able to weasel their way back in. Yeah. That's not what's going to happen. So I think that was Cody's job, was part of this conversation. He has to assess, is Janelle coming back into the fold here? And if not, then we can't have her involved in Coyote Pass. I don't want her building out there if we're not going to be together.
Which is fine by her now.
She's taking him up on that offer. She wants that. She prefers that.
I kind of think that he expected that she would want the property, not the money.
Yeah, like that it would be more of a fight for that. And he's extra worried now because he definitely does not have the funds to buy her out.
And he wanted the money.
Yeah.
He wanted her to buy him out.
Yeah, that would have been the way better play. He's been looking for a buyer to sell this land to for years now.
And unfortunately, she brought up Maddie. So that opens a door for him to bring up what he found out way back in October when they went to
Logan's wedding.
I wasn't going to say the name.
Oh, yeah. The
mysterious family wedding.
The faceless, nameless family wedding from October.
And it's now almost February. And he's still wondering why Maddie didn't tell him that she was pregnant.
I don't know. Why didn't you call her and ask?
Exactly.
There's a good conversation starter.
Months have gone by. You couldn't have picked up the phone after that and said, hey, I was a little taken aback by the fact that I saw you're pregnant at the wedding. Why didn't you share that with me?
Well, I think Kody knows that conversation would not go well in his favor because a lot of the things that Maddie would say is probably stuff along the lines of, yeah, I think your parenting and your grandparenting kind of go hand in hand and not really interested in any of that.
It kind of feels like an excuse that he needs Janelle to explain these things to him.
Yeah, and he has no way of finding out this information or reaching out to his children because that's Janelle's job. Janelle's the facilitator and she has to be the go-between because she's even saying, I don't want to be the middleman in this. You guys need to sort that stuff out, but that's not for me.
He had an issue with her being the middleman. Remember when he told her not to communicate with the kids anymore on his behalf because she was incorrectly relaying information to them?
That's correct. Yeah, he needs her to do both and to be everything when it is applicable and when it works in his favor.
Janelle knows that this conversation has led nowhere. We're just in an infinite circle. We're never going to get into an agreement on what we're going to do with the land. So she does offer to go to an attorney's office with him. That the person who they met with originally to talk about purchasing Coyote Pass, who's familiar with the land, she wants to go back to them to talk about their options. But this lawyer said that he would want Kody to be present.
Well, Kody was there originally. I think Kody originally contacted that lawyer. And so that was where the lawyer was like, that's great to talk to you about it, Janelle. I would really feel better if Kody was involved in that conversation as well.
How about everybody whose name is on the property?
That would probably be best.
That means Robin and Meri should also be there.
Yeah, not Christine anymore. She signed that over pretty quick.
No, she was the smartest one to get out of here.
Yeah, that was
get
a genius,
out of that deal.
Genius play.
He pretty much did. He didn't agree.
I think they had
he
left it.
He also didn't really disagree.
They left it as let's get some more information and then we'll talk to that lawyer.
So let's kick the can down the road.
Yeah, that's kind of the play here.
He's been doing that.
They have a lifetime before these balloon payments are due. It's 3 months out? That's forever.
Well, that's it for Janelle. She's decided that after this conversation, she's going to purchase some pearls. She's going to enroll in law school. And she's going to learn about real estate law she can represent herself in court.
How'd you pass the bar in Louisiana? She's going to lawyer up. She's going to be the lawyer to represent herself up in the courtroom. It's either that or she's just getting Kody used to meeting up with her and talking to a lawyer so then they can talk about other things too. Division of assets perhaps next.
All right, the moment we have all been waiting for. Everybody has been asking, when are we going to see the Carriage house reveal, right? Everyone has been they've been, I don't know if you've seen, but on
blowing up our inbox, just where is the footage?
Every time TLC drops a clip for the season, people comment, but what about the Carriage house?
Yeah, they're tagging us in things saying, what is your take on the Carriage house? I need to know what is going on. This is what's happening, you guys.
And don't forget, it's Meri's birthday as well.
Oh, right. Well, if by Meri's birthday, you mean Dayton's birthday.
That is true. Also, not a Dayton sighting this episode.
No.
Still worried, sending out the bat signal for him.
Is Dayton at the B&B?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Didn't see him.
So what do you do when you're Meri Brown and you've celebrated many birthdays on your own at this point?
Oh, don't let Nate do that math. Got married when they were 19. Married for 31 years, was it?
32? I don't have an accurate count of Rice Krispie treats, so I'm not exactly sure. She's got a nothing bundt cake ready to go.
Ooh.
And she's got her friends here. Good old Jen. And I can't remember the guy who
starts
helped.
with a B.
I know it starts with a B.
You do?
I do know it starts with a B, but I can't remember his name because we haven't seen him since last season.
Yeah, and I think I have it narrowed down to 2. I don't know what the last letter is.
Bryce. That's not correct.
Nope, that ain't it. No, it's either Blair?
It's Blair.
It's Blair? Okay.
Yeah. Which I love that name, by the way.
Okay. But the spelling, I think it was Blair.
Yes.
You're good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that spelling.
Okay. All right. You do you, boo.
Blair has been in charge of the Carriage house redesign. And I guess this is another project that Meri has unloaded onto Jen to take care of. Because Jen is also managing the B&B.
Catering, scheduling, housekeeping,
planning the launch of
checking
Worthy
in,
Up.
checking in, checking out, business operations, chief executive. Chief operations officer, maybe COO.
Mm-hmm. Making sure there's no circles in this place.
I didn't see any except for the rings on the ceiling where the TRX bands go.
What did you think about the carriage house?
I thought it was cute.
I think that they did a very good job.
I think this is good. Yeah, they did a solid job. The countertop's nice. They got the little curtain space over there. Robin can take note.
The dressing room.
Yeah.
The little fitting room for, I guess, whatever in-person events. Has she ever done an in-person LuLaRoe sale?
Seems weird. But, or is that some place where Meri would just step away and she would try something on and then bring it out to model? I'm not sure. I wouldn't want to be taking, nope, I'm good. I'm good.
A lot of people have already seen part of the room because it's where she does her live sales.
Yeah, and it's looking good.
Yeah.
It's doing great.
She has the memory bear with Bonnie's shirts, which was a sad moment.
But it was heartfelt. Yeah, that was good. I think net positive.
Watch and above as Meri does her lives and sips on her mysterious, unnamed water bottle. Who knows what's in there?
Unregulated, undocumented, pink drink mysteries. She's got her stationary bike upstairs. I think that's something your mom would be really proud of. She's got a couple options up there.
There were multiple yoga mats laid out. At first, I thought that they were going to do workout classes as part of what they offer at the B&B. But I think they were just trying to make it look a little more like there was more going on up there.
This is Meri's space. Yeah, this isn't communal space for patrons of the B&B, I don't think.
Her personal area.
Yeah, very much so.
Of course, she makes a joke about having a stripper pole for her to practice her moves on. Which, again, I would watch that. If Meri was to enroll in some classes.
Okay. I don't know where this is going, but go, Carly.
Let's get the OG three together and send them off to a class where they learn to striptease.
Oh, boy.
No? Come on.
Yeah,
this is what I need
you're saying
for
you
next
need,
season. We need more interaction between the family members.
See, this is hard. Yeah, to do like field trip type things, because normally it would be, like Housewives-esque sort of objectives to go do. You have to do something together today. Here's your task. And then you get drama along the way.
Oh, that would be great if they could plan trips and then, Meri would decide if she wants to uninvite someone from going on the trip.
Very Bronwyn style. Yeah. An uninvitation right behind your invitation. I feel like Christine would just take over the classes and then she wouldn't go anywhere without David. Kind of like Janelle from Teen Mom. Refuse to participate unless David's invited.
God.
I think it's difficult too because they're spread out so much now because Janelle's in Flag.
I don't
Christine's
care.
in Salt Lake.
You're getting paid a lot of money
It's true.
to be on TV. And I'm sure that they would pay to have them travel to do things to interact with one another.
Yeah, meet up in Vegas.
You got to make some sacrifices.
You're going to tell me that they can't find a striptease class in Vegas that they could send all these women to?
Of course they can.
Come on.
Of course they can.
That would be great. But Meri's already telling us here she doesn't feel like she's ready to date anyway. Not ready for that. Famous Amos in the future. He's looming around. He's just in dough form right now.
I hope that we get to see them date together because it goes so disastrously wrong so quickly.
It doesn't last long at all. Well, you know what's really scary is I think if you put Meri and Famous Amos's relationship on the same timeline trajectory as Christine and David's, then they should have gotten married too. the same amount of time.
They would have been looking for venues.
Pretty much at that point. Yeah. It's scary when you put it into that context.
Next episode, Janelle warns Meri on trusting Kody about the Coyote Pass property. Despite only dating a few months, Christine and David go house shopping. The family gathers for Gwendolyn's bridal shower, and Kody awkwardly meets David. This is a big episode coming up.
This becomes like a personal challenge for Kody and Robin of how do we ruin Gwen's engagement party? How do we make this about us?
I do think that from what she said when she was still active on Patreon, that David and Kody had a long conversation at some point during this, and that she wasn't really thrilled about the fact that they were filming it. So I am wondering how much of that we'll see.
Long conversation between Kody and David. Who do you think was doing most of the talking? I feel like it was just Kody talking at David, and David couldn't get a word in edgewise and just sort of let it happen. And Kody then, after speaking for 50 of the 60 minutes, 55 of the 60 minutes perhaps, realizes his assessment at the end. David's a pretty cool guy. Pretty good guy.
I think you're correct about that.
I feel like that's what's going to happen.
David just has to just say very little and let Kody talk about himself and just nod your head a lot.
Hello.
That's gonna be it.
Ta-da.
That's the extent of the interaction. Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next time, and be sure to stick around for a message from our friends at A Date with Dateline.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by the podcast A Date with Dateline. How to get away with not getting murdered and winding up on Dateline. Kimberly, what's first?
First and foremost, Katie, don't let your smile light up a room.
If your laugh can be described as contagious, rein that in.
Be wary of potential lovers you may meet on the internet, especially those whose deceased spouses came from money and died mysteriously.
Keep a sharp eye out for extramarital geometry. The most dangerous kind of triangles are love triangles.
Remember, nothing good ever happens at the bottom of the stairs or in the bathtub.
If your husband or wife asks you to go on a spontaneous hike to an unknown location, just say no.
And finally, when it comes to life insurance, deny, deny, deny. You don't have any, you're worth nothing.
Please subscribe to A Date with Dateline podcasts wherever fine, informative podcasts are found for more tips on how to not wind up on Dateline.
I'm Josh Mankiewicz, and I approve this message.